This
Sorry.
conference will now be recorded.
As much as I wanted.
Yeah.
Up the steps on the deck.
Well, shoot, then I might as well call them. I thought that'd be a really
Yeah, so you can
expensive.
talk to,
I need somebody for shoveling my driveway. I mean, plowing my driveway, so
Oh.
Yeah.
we were just talking about.
you can talk to Fred, he can get on that.
That'd be great.
Phone number or whatever.
I'm sorry,
I can get you his phone number or whatever.
I can give you my phone number.
No,
You
I
can give me
you
my
the-
phone number.
I give you Jake's.
We can exchange. I talked to him once.
No, I haven't dealt with no rules for about 4 years.
That's good, you stay out of it.
Yeah, well, for 2 reasons. I don't like the cold, and they don't call me because I'll slow them up.
There you go.
Having that little shovel. huh?
And I don't like the cold, so yeah.
The summer is much better.
Well, I've had 3 different people over the last 4 years and they quit doing it after a year. And it wasn't anything I did,
Yep,
but
yep.
you know, like Cody Johnson, you know him? Yeah, I'm gonna do full-time, you know, repairing engines and stuff, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. I said, okay, you know anybody else? So progressed to now I don't have anybody again.
Oh, sure.
So I don't care. I need to know it's gonna be done and not worry
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
If you've got over 2 inches, these guys come.
Yeah.
Have to do my
And
own.
if you want to come with just an inch or 2, or an inch or whatever.
Yeah.
Call and we'll come.
Just call and tell them that.
Oh, that's what I should have done last.
All right, looks like
Okay.
it's 5:30 here, so we'll call the meeting to order. First item is to adopt or amend the agenda. And it's in front of you. To note or
No changes.
motion to regard it?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 500. Okay, minutes from last meeting, on the back of the agenda. What's your wishes?
Approve the minutes as presented.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Just a notation about the continued interest. If you're interested, you're supposed to be letting City Hall know in writing. We want to continue to serve. I forgot about it too.
I never thought about it either.
Took the words out of my mouth, but yeah. At some point, it doesn't, it's not, you don't need to do it immediately, but at some point before the first of the year would be
Okay.
preferable, so I can have it on the council agenda, so.
Do they want us after this long? Has there been any?
Can we do it by email?
Yeah, of course. Any just form of writing documentation, email, on paper, letter, or there's the application on the website too. It doesn't bother me. It'll just be a reappointment, so it's just pretty simple, so.
Does everybody do it? We're still down 2 members, so.
Yep, they've had no interest that I'm aware of, and we're, per our ordinance, at the minimum amount anyway, so I hope none of you leave right now. But
That's good to hear. I've been wondering, as long as I've been on, I think, I don't know when I got on, if it was in '07 or '06 or whenever it was, if they would rather have somebody new.
Right now, the warm bodies, I think, but
yeah, we kind of just need bodies at this point.
I used out a park board and I got on here.
Code committee kind of gets to have their choice, to be honest with you. They've had a lot of interest from people, but we have not. Basically, every board has gotten someone since we've started kind of recruiting, but except for planning commission, so.
Okay,
So we have to send them a letter.
or an email or whatever,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
All righty. And then item number 4, public comments. Being none, we will move right on to item number 5.
I also, just to add on public comments, I got a public comment
Oh.
about our public hearing. They want to remain anonymous, unfortunately, but they were against it because they're
Which public hearing? Oh, on
the
this
one,
topic.
yeah, for
Okay.
the subdivision. Yeah, to be honest with you, as a professional opinion, I think it was a petty comment, but I just want to note it that there was a public comment.
We'll talk about that here now on item 5 now, okay, so.
Yep.
Well, public hearing was for the purpose of rezoning, for
They're splitting their
splitting,
lots.
yeah, splitting the lot and redrawing the boundary line for 2 lots on Second Street.
Yep. You should have a picture there. That's an approximate estimate of where the lines are going to go. There's a survey in there as well in the packet after my memos. I believe that you can see the exact line of where they're going to draw it, but I tried to draw it best on the map as well as I could. But Jared Post is seeking to move his lot line into his neighboring property, which he also owns by 35 feet. So he owns both of these properties and he's doing it because he wants to keep his garden and he wants to sell the other lot. So he wants to keep it so that it's on his property and then he sells the other one. There's no zoning problems with it, no setback issues. It's completely fine regulation wise. It's just kind of weird because obviously lot lines are annoying to deal with anyway. So we just figured that we would send him through the subdivision process as it is. And then he goes to the county and gets those lots split easily. So it's kind of just more of a preference thing, but yeah, that's what I.
Okay, and the comment that you received, was there any reason for it or just saying they're against it?
They said they were against it. They felt as though that he doesn't, a lot of it, in my opinion, is pretty petty because there are personal qualms that Jared Post told me about himself before the process began. He doesn't have a good relationship with this person, and this person found out about the public hearing and spoke out against it for personal reasons rather than actual legitimate.
So there's no technical reasons
No, she was worried that it was going to be going into her property, but it's not. That wouldn't be legal. And so I explained that to her, but she's still against it on more personal issues than anything. But personally, I mean, I have no issues either way with it, of course, but
Comment to comment.
Yep.
And it was only the one.
it was only the one.
So he has to have no survey.
Yep, and he did that. Yep,
By the county and everything.
yep, and he did that already, and I have that survey in there, and then, I mean, the county is just gonna split the lots or whatever.
Since
So
there's no other info, we'll close the public hearing and leave it open for discussion of the commission here. Any other questions or comments on it?
I have no questions about it.
You prefer to make a motion?
I can make a motion to approve the request for, I'm just making sure it's right. Lot. Hold on. Subdivision, is that right, Lon?
yeah, minor subdivision.
Minor subdivision change for the property at 454 West Second Street.
Seconded that we recommend approval of the proposed subdivision. Is there any other discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0-2. Okay, old business, the fee schedule.
Yes, so last month I brought it to your attention that we need to look at our fees going into next year if we want to make any changes, just for thinking at that time. But now we're gonna need to decide if we want to make changes, what those changes should be, and anything else as well. So I can bring it to city council to discuss.
Red ones on here, that was your proposed changes or suggested changes.
Yeah, as a staff member, I'm seeking to adopt, and the building permit ones that you have in here about building fees are from Safe Built, our providers for building inspections, and they gave me their estimate. And I'm proposing that we stick with them because they're trying to get up to the uniform building code. This is the same exact numbers that Pine Islands received, as well as Lake City. And so I'm just proposing we stick with it since it's normal for our area. And we'd still, even though despite we see an increase, we're still significantly lower than other cities in our area. And I provided my own assessment in there as well. And I think it's just good because we need to get up to where we need to be. And it's always good, we increase revenue this way that we sell a lot of, that eases the burden on taxpayers as well. And I think that's important as well. So That's just my proposal, at least for building fees, but
And it seems to make sense, and it helps to cover the cost of implementing the different permits too.
yes.
Cheaper.
And our biggest hitters are always going to be developers anyway, and, you know, they're used to it, and bigger cities charge significantly more anyway for these
And there's
as
a lot of
well.
work into those too, so.
Yeah,
And these are more in line with what other cities are charging them?
yep, this is actually the same exact numbers that Pine Island is getting as well. And Pine Island typically charges more for a lot of their services as well too. So I was actually surprised to see that, but all the safe build providers that I've heard of in our county, all the cities that use safe built have gotten the same numbers because they want everything to be standardized going towards a specific price point that they have in mind, but they want to build over a couple of years to get there. And the other thing I want to mention too is that if you had a chance to look too, that there's some development fees in there as well. And my colorful assessment that I gave you, there's a whole category of those that we have. So that's our variances, minor subdivisions, conditional use permits, rezones. And if we want to make any changes to that, it's up to you. I have no preference either way. On my chart there, the red are numbers that we are behind. The green means we are above them. And so we're behind a lot of the cities when it comes to these development fees, but I also don't think there's really a pressure either way to do one or the other because they're kind of sparse when we get them. And so it's not, I wouldn't say a need for us to increase them, but if we wanted to stay where they are, that's fine with me.
I think with all the other, I guess my opinion is with all the other increases that are going on property taxes, if we can show at least some of the things that we don't need to raise, we can stay static. That's probably not a bad idea. It looks like she's going to disagree with me.
I'm thinking about it.
One or two things that I had note that I as a staff member would like to see, whether or not we want to do them, is on the preliminary plat fee. Some cities like to have an escrow fee that goes with the application. So that means they would pay the application fee $500 as is, but they would also put up an escrow fee of a couple grand because that's typically for a large subdivision to come in. So that's usually when a lot of houses come in at one time or there's an actual development happening. And then we hold that money at an escrow until they go through the process and then they get that money back, or they can use it to pay things out of whatever fees they need to pay. So building permit fees and whatnot. So we still get the money, but they put up almost a security deposit
Yeah.
on the
Is
developments.
that a problem, do you think? Or
No, it's not a problem.
we need one?
We don't need one, but, there's some cities that do it. I just like it as more, we get big developments that come in. It's just nice to have that kind of security where, the city can guarantee that income. And they get the money back, but they still have to pay the building permit and they just pay it out of the escrow fee. Again, whether or not we do it, it's up to you. If we do it, my proposal is $1,000, which is nothing basically at all. That would be for a single house, that's half of a building permit for a house permit. So it's really not a ton in my opinion.
So that would be the purpose of what?
It would just be like a security deposit for us. So if they don't go through the process, then we have the money. But if they do go through the process, they get that money back, but they still have other things to pay for. So it's pretty much, there's really no point to have it, but there's also, a benefit to the city to do so as well. And some of the other cities have large amounts, like Byron has a $20,000 escrow fee.
I guess I'm just not quite sure if they do the preliminary plat, they still have to pay the fee for the preliminary plat. And if that doesn't go any further, why would we need a security deposit? If they go further, they're going to have to pay fees anyway, right?
That's true. Yep. I mean, it really doesn't matter either way, I guess, but it was more just a thought, so.
I get it, but I'm not quite sure the purpose. What the benefit would be.
And one I would also like to add pending approval is, so if someone violates our zoning ordinance, there's not really a set fee for doing so. I'd like to add a set fee of a violation of an ordinance. We had like 2 this year since I've been here. So again, it's sparse, but the problem is if someone violates the ordinance, I don't want to be in a situation where I don't know how to enact a penalty on that.
Enforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to like guess at that. And technically our ordinance says I have the authority of a police officer to,
Has that come forth before the code committee at all, that topic, or?
no, I haven't brought it to them. But since I'm the zoning administrator, I thought I'd bring it to planning and zoning,
Right.
considering it would be a zoning.
Well, it
fee.
makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Someone that, they built without a permit, basically, after I told them no. And most of the time and in those scenarios, it was like, they knew and I just told them, don't do that. I gave them a stop work order and they stopped. So it really went nowhere, but just in case in the future, like, for example, we're writing an animal ordinance right now. In the case where someone illegally creates a kennel, that's a zoning problem technically, according to our ordinance. Now, how do I enforce that? If there's nothing in the animal ordinance that gives a slight penalty, I need something, since it's part of the zoning code, that says, here is the fee for that violation. And it just would help me just have more of an enforcement mechanism when it comes to those things. Again, it doesn't happen. It only happened once or twice this year, but it's just on the off chance that, like, what if a developer
Right.
doesn't follow protocol?
So what form would it take, like $500 a day until it's fixed or something like that, or?
I was thinking like $75. It would be in line with our
But
other
so much
fines.
per day until the violation is addressed.
It would just be one time, and then,
Right.
because everything's a complaint based, and so
Okay.
it would be, we got a complaint, I issue the fee, $75. But if it comes up again, well, it could be the same thing, but eventually it could be a state citation. And so it's a police issue too, but I just think having some sort of mechanism for me to do it would be helpful, in my opinion. Just in case. Well, we do. The problem is I have discretion over it.
Yeah,
And
so you could give one person $200 and the other person $50 based on
Right. And
a
this is just.
violation, and I'm not that you would,
Yeah.
but because there isn't a set amount, it's at his discretion, and so that puts him in a bad spot.
Right. So we have 3 questions before the fee schedule, I guess. One is the fees that were outlined on the first 3 pages here. And we also have the permit fees that are on the red colored coded page. And then the question of a violation fee. I guess there's 3 different topics we have to look at here.
We got
So
off
when
track.
you told that person to stop, they stopped them?
Yeah, I had some help from Safe Built Bill. Our inspectors are obviously our groundwork of enforcement mechanisms. So they kind of are able to handle it easier. But yeah, and these people were not English speaking as well. So that was a barrier too. But, when we got to understanding, they understood and they stopped, but it's just on those scenarios where what happens if Bigelow Homes, violates our preliminary plat process, how do I enforce that? And a lot of that comes down, the attorney will do that too, and they can handle it as well. But, this is just like $75 is the same as our administrative fee. So if there's ever a fine that's not stated, it's $75. So I just figured it would be nice to just stay in line with that.
Well, actually, there's 4 things, right? There's the building permits, there's the development fees, there's the escrow, which kind of falls under the development fees, and then the fee for ordinance violation, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Keep moving along, this, the first 4 pages, the building code permit fees. Do you have any thoughts on those 4 pages of changes, or how we could deal, or are you satisfied with those? That's where the contractor is trying to get us in line with everybody else.
I don't have, these are very inexpensive based on my
Relatively-
experience.
relatively speaking, yeah. Okay. So then we move on to the color-coded page. What's anyone's thoughts on those? Did you, have any particular ones, Kim, that you thought should be addressed, or?
Well, like the pre-plat fee, it's just, I mean, Pine Island is quite a bit more than us, but Cannon Falls, Lake City is less. That one seems like it could go up slightly, the pre-plat and the final plat.
Would you have a suggestion for an amount?
I'd say like 750 or, yeah,
We wouldn't be
750.
out of line to kind of follow the other cities that have that. I don't think.
So if we went to 750, we'd be moving up more toward the middle of the pack, it looks like. So if we pencil that in for this purpose, the other ones you think were reasonable?
And like you said, they're not. We have some, but not not a lot of applications for all of these.
Right, this
I mean,
isn't a moneymaker for us.
No,
you know?
no, no.
It's just more staff time and.
Yep. Yep. So.
And
yeah,
part of
trying
it
to
too
cover
is,
our costs.
also, like we have to send out public notices, so we pay for postage. We pay thousands of dollars a year in postage. And same goes for, afterwards, we're all done, I still have to go to the county and pay the county to even record it on that property.
Is what comes before us more frequently than anything else is a variance.
Right,
And so if that one, so I don't know, I can't do math it's super fast in my head, but like the average across the board there looks like it's close to
It's close to 350.
400.
There's a couple 250s in there. Yeah,
and it can also be a tool of discouraging these things as well.
right.
Because I've had some people not apply for a variance because they don't want to pay $400 on a chance to get the variance.
I'd hate to discourage somebody if they got a reasonable request.
But if
too.
it's someone that knows that this is what they want and this is something that needs to happen, well, they're going to do it anyway, you know?
Say 350 is, it's we've had a lot of minor things too that, there's a process of notifications and all, but, I'd like to say, I hate to discourage somebody that's got a reasonable request too. Those are colored wrong.
So the average is $367, not including Zimbrota. So Pine Island can, all the rest of them, if you take what the variances are across there. So, yeah, maybe that one's, it's,
Back with the pre-plat and the final plat, the escrow,
mhm.
do we want to move into that situation too with the escrow, or?
Did I understand that you said they would not get their money back then?
No, they would.
Well, they
They
do.
will.
Yeah,
They
but
will.
a lot of it, so like Kim has talked about, or Kim, our finance director, has talked about, we've done it for, like Keller Barton has an escrow account with us. And so when they put up the first building, they gave us money for escrow and they pay a lot of their fees to the city out of that account. So like, a lot of times they just end up keeping it with us And then they'll pay the building permits, they'll pay their water bills, whatever else out of those accounts so that they don't have to think about it really as
Do you
much.
pay the bill then out of the escrow in favor of them? Or can they write it themselves and write it off? How does the money get to the water bill or whatever?
Transferring it.
Well, we hold the money in account, but we just transfer it, I think. I don't know how it works, but Kim holds all of it. And,
Yeah, because normally with escrow, the escrow people will write the check
right.
to make sure it goes where it's supposed
City
to
is
go.
doing the escrow here, so.
An account that holds their money, and so it's just a little bit easier than like, someone might take a long time to pay, right? They've been given a bill, it's gonna be 60 or 90 days down the road for them to pay. If it's prepaid, it's in the city's account. It moves to pay whatever that is, if it's a building, well, a plat. I mean, yeah, right. And that's probably why some of these cities might have it, is so then it's essentially prepaying for your services. And if you don't get the services, you get the money back. But the city has the dollars in the account from the get-go instead of having to bill it down the line.
Right.
That, I don't.
Yeah, I just
think
figured,
it's
I don't want to be a
just-
reasonable off the
Right.
jump and, you know, we still want,
Right.
it's not going to hinder development.
That would just be
There's
for the
still-
pre-plat item, or that would be tied to that.
Yeah, I just want to do it for pre-plat because pre-plat and final plat, our engineer likes to do them at the same time, basically, because it doesn't change really from his perspective.
Mhm.
So I was just like, why would we do it twice if they're doing it at the same
They ask, you'd ask for the escrow at the time of the pre-plat
Yeah.
application. Yeah.
That seems reasonable to me.
The schedule then, everyone's okay?
$1,000.
And leave the fee at 500. I think that seems reasonable.
Which fee?
The pre-plat fee,
Instead of going to 750?
Yeah. Don't you?
What did you recommend?
Instead of raising two fees to 750, just add the escrow to the existing.
I see.
We have consensus on that then?
I think that's okay.
I mean, if it ends up being a problem too, we can always go back and remove the escrow and then jump the price. So if it ends up not working out, if we're like, I know this isn't really helping or anything, then maybe we can just do that
The
too.
question is a fee for a zoning violation.
Mhm.
Variable thing though, depending on the severity of the violation. I'm not sure how you do that.
It does. I mean, you know, it does matter, but I mean, you look at the police fines that they have right now, they're basically nothing, in my opinion, and they haven't been changed for years.
DUI.
So, I mean, I was just saying like an administrative penalty, it's more of a slap on the wrist anyway. But like, what can I even do if I had all the authority in the world against them anyway? Because we act on complaints and those don't come in very often. And so it's more of a safeguard for me because I can still use our city attorney to hit where it counts on things. Yeah. But, you know, on these things where if they're not obeying the ordinance and I've told them, because I will not, you know, slap a fine on someone off the get-go. It'll be,
Right.
hey, by the way, you violated this ordinance, can you fix it? Or I'll send you a letter. And then after repeated amounts, then it just gives me something where I can actually say, I can do something. And if they still don't respond to that, we can progress from there. So
Like Mr. Schuman and his sheds. When do they have to be removed? Do we remember?
December of
26.
last year.
end of 26,
No, this year,
end of next year.
next year, September, end of September.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's changed a couple times.
I think we need a violation. Come on.
If we
I
start,
can't do that. They went through a lawsuit, so.
yeah, that's a different one. But if we start with the 75 at the discretion of the zoning administrator, I think that's a reasonable number.
Yep.
Fill that in?
75?
Most of our police fines are like $30. So, I mean, this is double that. So I just kind of figured this
Covers a
is,
couple hours of your time.
Yeah, I mean, because if I have to write a letter to them, it's gonna take me like 30 minutes, you know? So it's like that's, and then pay for postage or whatnot. I think it equates out and gives us a little bit of bang for our buck too.
Different areas that we need to discuss here. Is there any other thoughts on the fee schedule? Or-
Do you want me to make the motion? Do I have to describe them all?
No, but no, you can just say as adopted.
I move that we adjust the building permit fee schedule as the escrow amount and the violation payment as discussed.
Second.
Noted here during the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 500. Okay, what we've got next. New business. Staff report on sale of land.
Yes, so this is for Keller Bartman Properties. So they're a Bridgeview Apartments building, and I think I'm mixed up in the packet. So the next two are in tandem basically anyway, but it's at the very back is my staff report. But so Keller Bartman Properties building here very shortly. And so, I mean, we were aware of this, but this is just coming up now just because this is where we are in the process. But the city owns a chunk of land on this old bank parcel that we need to sell to them. And so I provided, per our zoning ordinance, a staff report on what that sale would look like and provide, and it has to be based legally off our comprehensive plan, how it would fit. And so the developer has agreed to a market price for this land at $3,600. And this price is recommended by our city engineer as based on an estimate of about $1 a square foot. This lot where it is right now is not buildable where it is. And their building plans for the building wouldn't go on the entire property. It would be basically the edge of the building in the, I guess it would be the western portion of that lot on the picture there. But it's not buildable, and a portion of it is an easement for the culvert.
Right.
And so really, it does nothing for the city as it is. We got the land for free, and so we would be getting fair market price for it, which I think is a huge win, honestly,
You say
because
the city got the land for free. What was that?
we got it it was, I don't know when it was dispersed to us, but I think it was maybe in 2022 from the bank. And they just donated it to us. I don't know what that process was, but that's what happened, I guess, according to Goodhue County. And so as far as tenants go with our comprehensive plan, it fits our housing initiatives because the land will be used for a new apartment building, fitting into goal 1 of mixing our housing types, as well as providing more options through our zoning districts. It will also achieve objective 2, which is provide workforce housing for us, which is our requirement under our comprehensive plan. It'll also be used to attract career professionals, as well as an increase for available housing for residents of an advanced age, achieving our initiative number 2 in our comprehensive plan, and work with the developer to provide workforce housing, achieving initiative 4A. As far as land use, it fits in because it allows the developer to redevelop this lot, which is not buildable and the city can't do anything with for housing purposes. That fits under tenant or under goal 3 of our land use. The sale creates mixed-use zoning for our downtown area, which is what our comprehensive plan outlined, is we wanted to mix our zoning districts so it wasn't all commercial. And it also achieves having efficient and cost-effective use of land because we're receiving fair market value and we were given the land for free. So the city gets all the benefit for this land that we can do nothing with. We can't put anything there. We can't, who would buy it? And right now we pay taxes on it and it's not doing anything, so.
I think we're probably sold on the idea, but we have to go through do we have to go through a public hearing on that
We do not.
topic? Okay.
So we are good to vote on it tonight, and it'll go to city council. What?
What are we voting on?
If we're
Sale.
selling some of the land, and then it goes to the city council.
If they can buy that little green parcel there.
But if they, you know where I stand on this whole thing.
I do. But I should also point out that this vote is specifically for the comprehensive plan. If we decide to vote no, we're setting a precedent to other developers, other land that we want to sell, and saying that we will go against their comprehensive plan even if it works. Because from a staff perspective, having no opinion on the project as a whole, we're getting money for this thing that we can do nothing with. And I think that's a huge win. But I know how you all feel, of course, but that's just my thought process on it.
But this all fits in with the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
It does, 'cause it's increasing.
Obviously, you can interpret it whichever way you want. You could say it doesn't fit with the comprehensive plan for X, Y, and Z reasons, but those need to be provided as well. But from my perspective, I wasn't able to find anything that goes explicitly against it because of what the land would be used for. And our committees were the one that came up with a comprehensive
And you
plan.
got it, maybe getting ahead, but you talk about having to rezone that area too, then is that presently zoned commercial?
Yes,
Then we'd have to rezone it to the mixed use.
yeah, PUD to go along with it.
Okay, so. Are we clear on what we're talking about? I'll go ahead and make the motion that we recommend to city council the sale of this property to the developer. Is there, okay, it's been moved and seconded that we recommend approval of the sale for the reasons noted in the description that it fits into the comprehensive plan. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. 4-1-0, it passes. Okay. Now, instead of public hearing for the rezoning,
Yep.
guess we'll move that for 5:35. What's the date of the next meeting?
It's January 13th, I want to say.
Okay.
Let me check.
I'll move that we schedule a public hearing for that date and time. Is there a second? Okay. Verify the date. 13th.
January 13th.
Okay, all those in favor of scheduling a public hearing, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0-0. Okay, and the final topic on the agenda is the election of officers for next year.
Yes. So for 2026, we need to elect a new chairperson and vice chairperson per our ordinance. So I just want to leave it open to you guys to nominate someone or people to fill these positions and vote on it. I'm doing it, usually we do it in January, but I'm doing it in December, so it takes effect in January.
I vote for Tom to stay as chair.
I vote for Tom also.
We want to do it, and along with it, I would vote for Kim to be vice chair.
That's where I'm at. I can take it.
I guess we move for us to reelect the existing officers to new offices for next year.
Fine with me.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 5-0-0. Okay. Kim, you can't miss meetings this winter because I'll be in Florida for a couple months.
Coordinate our travel schedules.
Pretty sure it's
Okay.
March and April and May or May not. March I won't be. April maybe. This,
Where are we at with Mr. Johnson and the property on the corner that he wants to use for storage?
I have heard nothing from him, and I've heard nothing about it. We'll leave it at that,
I'm
and,
not going to initiate it, then we're not going to worry about it.
you know, yeah, right. And that's the way I feel about it. I'm treating him like an adult. He was here. he knows. And so treating him the same, so, as I would someone else. So when he's ready, he can bring it in, or if not, whatever. I mean, it's still kind of iffy on the zoning code anyway, so I don't know if I can write him a violation, but I'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. But
Was he Woodson there?
yeah, I mean, I don't know,
I think there was people looking for something when he came in,
right?
so when we said, I figured those people probably were gonna. I'm guessing.
Yeah, and he's been busy with his other lot that he's actually putting the storage in out in the industrial park. And so we're kind of busier on that end. So I don't even know if he's even looking at the one I'm answering right now. So
Any other questions for Miles or?
only other thing I'm going to add for the future, and I clarified this with our attorney. So one issue that at least personally I've had is that it can kind of be tedious when we set public hearings where we have to have a meeting where we set the public hearing and then wait another month for the public hearing. We do not need to do that.
Oh,
I can set the public hearings myself at our next meeting, and then we can just hold them. As long as I'm within my public notice timeline, which I usually am, because, you know, the time frame is a month. So, and our attorney said that's totally perfectly okay. So in future, if it's okay, instead of waiting to set the public hearing, I can set it for the next meeting, and then we can hold it. And then we don't have to worry about waiting a whole nother month to even review it.
Better.
That
So-
makes more
you don't
sense.
see a problem with that or?
No, I think that'd be good.
I agree.
So as long as you're okay with that, I am more than happy to do that, because
Yeah.
makes me,
Yeah.
yeah. And then sometimes I might even forget. And then I get on the crunch time with the public notices and I don't want to do that. But if someone applies, then I can just say, hey, it'll be at this time. And then I'll send out the notices and then we can just have our meeting and we're good to go. Send it right to council. So,
Okay, anything else?
so for me,
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion say nay, motion carries 400.
Thanks for taking the chairman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Am I allowed to get people to help?